Good afternoon, Coach. How are you doing?
Well, how are you?
Doing very well, thank you. We're going to go ahead and get started now. Just want to say good afternoon to everybody. Hope everyone is doing well. Want to thank you all for joining us today for the 2023 Conference USA Championship Game Head Coaches Call featuring Liberty head coach Jamey Chadwell and New Mexico State head coach Jerry Kill. Coaches, want to thank you as well for taking the time to join us during your busy week. Before we get started, I want to take care of a couple housekeeping things ahead of Friday night's game between CFP number 25 Liberty and New Mexico State, which will kick off at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain Time. If you haven't already, please make sure you apply for your credentials via Sports Systems. I'll go ahead and put the link in the chat before we wrap up here, as the deadline for application is today at 4 p.m. Central Time. You will receive confirmation of approval via an automated email, and pickup for credentials in Lynchburg will be available on Thursday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern at the East Tower ticket booth between gates 5 and 6. There will also be pickup available on game day as well at the same location. Now, on to today's call format. We will have Coach Chadwell begin with a short opening statement, and then we will take questions from the group. I ask that you please utilize the raised hand function to let me know you have a question for Coach, and please state your media affiliation when called upon. We'll make sure to keep each coach to about 15 minutes, so please be mindful of that. Once Coach Chadwell is finished around 1:30-ish Central, we will repeat the process with Coach Kill. So thank you again, and let's go ahead and get started with Liberty head coach Jamey Chadwell, who will make a short opening statement. Coach, go ahead.
Thank you. Obviously, our team is excited about the opportunity Friday night. We've had a tremendous season and thankful to be hosting, obviously, in our inaugural year in the conference. Tons of respect for Coach Kill and New Mexico State and what they've been able to do and the way they've finished this season strong. We spoke as a team. We've talked about the value of this conference and that there's good football being played, and obviously what they've been able to do to go to SEC country and dominate the way they've done just speaks volumes, I think, of how our conference is and where it stands. We're thankful to be representing Conference USA in the championship game, and looking forward to a great game Friday night.
Thank you very much. We'll go to our first question, Jermaine Farrell. Jermaine, go ahead.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Coach Kill, Jermaine Farrell, WFXR, Fox affiliate of Roanoke. First of all, Coach, congratulations on the season and congratulations on making it to the Conference USA Championship game, sir.
Thank you very much.
I got to ask you, this season as a whole, I mean, it just seems like you guys have gotten stronger and stronger throughout the year. What has been the key to you guys having the success you have had all year, making it undefeated with opportunity to win your first Conference USA or FBS championship?
Well, I think one, as we've gone on through the season, we've gotten to know our team better. This is our first year, and so, early on in the season, you're trying to figure out, what can we do, who can do it, when can we do it, and as you get along, you get to know your team better. They get to know you better, and I think that's why we've gotten better throughout the season, because we've started to understand more the strengths of our players and how to interact with them and to get them to play at the highest level, and secondly, I think they've done a fantastic job. The players have done a fantastic job of believing in each other and believing in what we're doing. And each week they've just built off the previous week and have not been satisfied, and they've stayed hungry to continue to get better. And when you do that, good things can happen.
We'll now go to our next question, John Manson. John, go ahead.
Thank you, John Manson from A Sea of Red. Coach, as you prepare to play New Mexico State, obviously it's the second time you'll be facing them this season, going all the way back to week 2 of the season. But how unique is it, and how much of a challenge is it to prepare to face a team for a second time in this season?
Well, I mean, it is challenging. It is unique. I've actually done it 3 times in previous between Division II and FCS playoffs. So I have experience with it before. I don't know if it's a great experience, but I've had experience with it before. And so obviously each other. And then, but the thing about this game is it was, 10, 11 weeks ago, the first one. That was September, I think, 10th or something around that nature. And so they're obviously a completely different ball club than they were back then, but we are too. And so there's obviously you have an understanding of each other, but I do think there's a lot of differences because it's been so long since we played. But it's more like of an NFL model, right? When you play each other in your division twice, and so it's an exciting time. There's not going to be any surprises. You have an understanding of what your opponent is because you've seen them up close and personal as far as their personnel and things of that nature. And so I think it's a unique deal, and I like it because you get to decide a true champion.
We're going to go now to Ted Lewis. Ted, go ahead.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Coach, I know your mind's on New Mexico State, but could you talk about make the case for your team being the most deserving to get a New Year's Six bowl bid, assuming you win Saturday, and do you think that you have a shot?
Well, I mean, the most important thing is we got to try to win Friday. I mean, it doesn't matter what I think we deserve or earn unless we can, finish the season, be a conference champion, because that's the number one priority. You have to be a conference champion, and we have to be able to do that. But if we do, are fortunate enough to be able to win the game, I think if you look at what we've been able to do, what our conference has been able to do, who our people in our conference have beaten, who we've been able to beat, I think it stacks up with any other team that's being considered. I don't have all the details in front of me, but if we're fortunate enough to win the game, Ted, you can bet I'll have them Friday night.
Thank you.
We'll go now to Colin Deaver. Colin, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, Colin Deaver with KTSM in El Paso, Las Cruces. Obviously, Diego Pavia has had a really strong year at the quarterback position for New Mexico State. From your vantage point, just what makes him such a tough player to prepare for, even though he is a little bit undersized?
He's a winner, and he's a competitor. I mean, he's the type you watch on video and you think you have him, and then he finds a way to get out and make a play, and he's so dangerous. When he's out of the pocket and with his running or with his throwing ability, and he just has a great confidence. Even from our first game, just watching him and the things that he did, you're amazed by how the competitiveness that he has, and what I believe, through watching him the rest of the season there, it's rubbed off on his team there, and they play with this a strong belief in each other and a competitive fire, and I think that's a direct result of him and the way he plays the game. Very impressed with him, respect him greatly. He's tremendous. He's a tremendous player and makes them go for sure. And we had our hands full with him the first time, and he's way better this time. So it'll be a big challenge for our defense to and you can't stop him. He's a guy you just got hopefully you can contain and limit some of the things that he does, but he's going to make plays because he just has that. He has that natural, he's just a great football player.
We will go now to Dave Walls. Dave, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. Dave Walls from ABC 13 here in Lynchburg. We've talked with you all season about Caden Salter's progress, about preseason, you challenging him to kind of rededicate himself to football. Has he surpassed your expectations for him this season? And can you talk about his chemistry with this wide receiving group, both Noah and CJ, they've been here, they've had injury problems, but clearly they've all brought out the best in each other. Can you talk about the relationship that they have?
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know what expectations I had, for Caden coming into the season. I'm not going to say they were out of the roof. They weren't, based off of, spring and going into the summer. But, once he got into fall camp and he obviously won the job, your expectations, you want the guy to go out there and lead your team and hopefully help you to victory. And he's by far exceeded those things, obviously sitting here 12-0. And so his improvement, on the field, more importantly off of the field, is a major reason why we're sitting where we're at right now, and we would not be here without his improvement and that he made. And then on top of that, with your second part of your question, those guys have been here together for a little while, and so obviously they have a relationship. But what they've been able to do because of that relationship they've had off the field, they have a great connection on it. They obviously work at their craft, on their own and during the off season and different things, but they have a really good connection where they understand what somebody's trying to do with the route and different things. And I think that's part of them. They've been here together, even though maybe they don't had tons of reps on the field together. They've had those reps, behind the scenes and the relationship they had. And I think that's led to the success you're seeing. And what makes those guys, really good is they're unselfish as well. And so they don't care who gets the credit. When that happens, good things happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go again to John Manson. John, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Coach, going back to almost a year ago now, your introductory press conference at Liberty, and ever since then, you've been not shy about, wanting to play for and compete for conference championships, and, to have that opportunity on Friday. How excited are you and the team for this opportunity?
Well, it's one that everybody's obviously looking forward to. It's something that we've talked about, but we didn't just every week it was about this or that. It's something that was out there, but now to be here and be in the moment, it's a special time. Obviously, coming off the season that we've had, to be able to host it, that doesn't happen often, and so we're thankful for that. But also, it's more, as a coach, you're just thinking about getting your team ready to try to play their best. We're going to need to play our best if we're going to have a chance to win. Because New Mexico State's probably arguably playing the best football of any team in the country, and that's Power 5, FBS, anywhere. They're playing tremendous confidence, and so we're going to have to play well. And so you really, I don't know if there's an excitement when you're trying to get ready and you're watching. It's more of, hey, are we doing everything we can to prepare to try to play our best? But it'll be a special opportunity Friday night to be able to run out and knowing you're playing for a conference title.
Want to give one more chance if anybody's got another question for Coach. Otherwise, we'll be able to get him on with the rest of his day. So last call here for questions for Coach Chadwell before we move on. All right, looks like Dave Walls will get this last one in here. Dave, go ahead.
Great, thank you. And Coach, could you talk about Tyron Dupree and what he has meant for this defense, crossing that 100 tackle plateau? It has certainly been a dynamic force on this defense, and for a defense that has pulled some wins out of some very, very tight games. The defense has really helped out even in those few moments the offensive struggle. What can you tell me about Dupree and, again, your defensive excellence this season?
Well, Tyron, actually, he has had a tremendous year, and really he was a bit of an unknown. He was obviously on the team, had played tons in his previous experience there, and so and linebacker was a place when I first got here that we had a lot of quality players, quality depth, and then real quick it went away, and so the linebacker room became arguably our biggest question mark on the team. And who are we going to have there that's played it all? There was hardly anybody that's played really a lot. And he has stepped up tremendously. Got named the captain, and obviously you mentioned the type of season he had. He's made us go out there from a standpoint of getting us in the right checks and getting the front where it needs to be, and playing with the type of passion and emotion you need to play the game at. But he's kept a level head, and he cares, and obviously been a 6-year guy, last opportunity to be a Flame. He's really made the most of that. Very proud of him. And he's helped us through some challenging times. Obviously, you mentioned some close games, the defense making plays, been able to do that. But even maybe we've not played as well as we wanted. He's been a good steady hand for us to keep us focused on what we need to be focused on, and been a great leader on that side of the ball.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Well, thank you both very much, everybody. We appreciate your time with Coach Chadwell. Coach, best of luck on Friday, and thank you again for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm going to take a moment here and allow some time for Coach Kill to get on, and we'll go ahead and repeat the process here. Just want to let everybody know, in case you happen to join a little later, please utilize the raised hand function to let us know you've got a question for Coach Kill. And then also please state your media affiliation when I do call upon you. And we want to make sure we're respectful of Coach Kill's time. So we'll try to limit that to about 15 minutes or so as we get going here with Coach. So we'll be starting that section very shortly. Thank you.
Jordan, we're ready whenever you are.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your time. We'll go ahead and get started with your short opening statement, and then we'll just jump into questions, Coach. So feel free to go ahead.
Well, it's a privilege to be playing in the conference championship game. And, it's been a wild ride for us. And in our second year, but our kids have responded to what we're doing and what we're asking them to do. And, it's been a year that I think we've worked and, we've kind of fought, and it's kind of our lunch pail, hard hat mentality is that we've just found a way to win and, and play good at the right time. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Coach. We'll go first to Colin Deaver. Colin, go ahead.
Yeah, Colin Deaver. Kind of interesting because I'm sitting right across the row here from Coach in the press conference right now. But Coach, you've clinched a couple weeks ago, obviously, the spot in the conference championship game. How have you liked how you guys have handled the 2 games, since doing that? And now that the week is here, how do you feel like the guys are kind of getting ready for the championship game in terms of their preparations?
Well, I think that the biggest thing is that, I think we wanted to go into the championship game playing, with a good rhythm. And the second thing is, Jacksonville had a situation, and in the conference. And, I think it meant a lot to us that we needed to win that game to, really deserve to get into the conference championship game. So, last 2 weeks, we played 13 games now because we opened up early. And so this will be our 14th game. And I think the biggest thing, we had going in is worry about, physically, how we would hold up. And then Jacksonville, it was their game and they played us physical. It was a physical football game. So, we come out of it a little bit beat up, really. And, I'm sure that Coach could say the same thing. We're all beat up at this time of year.
We'll go now to John Manson. John, go ahead.
John Manson, a Sea of Red. Coach Kill, thank you for taking some time. New Mexico State, Liberty, both first-year programs in Conference USA. What does that mean to the conference? You also can talk about Jacksonville State, their first year as well, just to the conference, to those programs to be able to have so much success in the first year in the league.
Well, I think that, I didn't know a lot about the teams in Conference USA, and then when I went to the coaches meeting and seen all of them good coaches, I go, we may be in trouble here. And but I got a great respect for all the teams in the conference and Conference USA, and being in a great conference. New Mexico State hasn't been in one for a long time, so it's a privilege for us. And Liberty's come in with a tremendous resume, and I think their program speaks for itself, and what they do. And Coach has done a great job coming in. And then, Rich Rod at Jacksonville, he's done a great job. Got a very physical football team, and my hats off to all 3 of them. And you throw Western Kentucky in there, and so it's been you could throw up, some change, and you don't know who's going to win from Saturday to Saturday, and that's kind of the way it's been.
We'll go back again to Colin. Colin, go ahead.
Obviously, you played them. I think it was your 3rd game, but technically week 2 of the season. Just how different of a team do you feel like you guys are since that game? And then also you talked about how difficult it is, from Liberty's standpoint of beating a team twice. Just how much do you kind of buy into that?
Well, I think that, you look at Liberty, and we certainly watched a lot of them, and, they haven't slowed down any. And, the bottom line is this game for us to hang in there and be in the game is we can't turn the ball over, and we turned it over 3 times, when we went there and played them last. And, they're a big cause of that. They big, physical, strong team. Their quarterback's outstanding. And I think everybody forgets about that running back. So, they run the ball well. They're just, play great defense. They're just a good team. And I think they've improved, since we played them. And I think we've improved, and probably improved a lot, since we played them the last time. So we just got to go up there and and do what we've been doing, but we can't turn the ball over 4 times and win the game. We can't turn it over at all. And and we got to, be lucky to get a couple. So that's what we've talked about the most.
We'll go now to Adrian Ochoa. Adrian, go ahead.
Yeah, Adrian Ochoa with ABC7 here in El Paso. Just Coach killed the environment that you're headed into. Obviously, something you're used to coming off of the Auburn game. Just how do you like that your team is able to respond in those type of environments, big game environments?
Well, it was certainly as we've gone on, and certainly at Auburn was a good experience of the noise and things of that nature. But I will tell you, Liberty, the first time we played them, I think it was Thanksgiving or whatever, and there wasn't as many people there. And then the last time we were there, it was jam-packed, and it'll be jam-packed. And, it's enthusiastic. It's the way college football should be, and, I think both sides of the ball and both teams will be excited about playing and the atmosphere and so forth. So, I think it's good for both teams.
Colin, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, just since I think like September or whenever you guys really started this run in the New Mexico game, I think it's 8 in a row, 8 of 9, whatever it is. What can you point to in terms of Diego's play that was maybe like the changing point for him? And obviously, with the incident in September, how has he grown from that and become a better leader for your team?
Well, he's been he's been a good leader. He's a good teammate. The kids love him. He plays all out, which hurts him sometimes, but he'll do anything to win. And if he has to duck his head to win, he's going to do it. He's not going to run out of bounds. And sometimes that's good, and sometimes it's bad on that body that he has. Because he's not that big, but he's a 3-time All-State wrestler, and you look at him, and you don't think the guy's a quarterback, but he's had an outstanding year and has played very well. Certainly since the 3rd game, and we wouldn't be here without him. And he had a couple of mistakes, but one of them really wasn't his. The receiver didn't run through the correct route and so forth. But he's been outstanding, and we certainly wouldn't be where we're at without him.
Go to Adrian Ochoa. Adrian, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, last time the tattoo, getting the tattoo after the win of the bowl game, anything on the line this year, this time around? Kind of conference championship, maybe?
I used that up in the New Mexico game. So, no, I think that we'll just keep it that we need to play well and do what we need to do. I don't think our team needs the motivation when, the thing you worry about, they haven't played here for conference championship a long time. And so you worry about the nerves and them going in there and playing relaxed and having fun and just playing the standard that we hold up. And I think that's the thing that I worry about, and that's in my control. I've got to get them ready to play. And, we did it against Auburn. Nobody thought we were going to go beat Auburn, but, our kids did. And so, our kids right now are playing hard, and, it's, they gain more confidence as the weeks go by, and it's probably fitting that we won by a field goal in some ways, but we've kind of done it the hard way. We've been on the road a bunch on a lot of long trips, and, again, this is our 14th game, and then we get a bowl game. That'll be 15. So it'll be us and the 2 teams in the national championship, I believe, will play in 15 games. So it's been unique, but I don't think I have to do anything to motivate the kids this week. I still may get a tattoo though.
We'll go to Colin one more time. Colin, go ahead.
Yeah, just I know you prepared for it a couple months ago at this point, but what makes their offensive style of play unique to prepare for?
Well, Coach has a lot of experience in what he does, and I mean, they just do so much, and they run G Lead about as good as anybody I've seen run it. They run the option. They run the counter. I mean, and they run it good. I mean, they got I think they run 5-6 run plays, and I mean their execution is unbelievable. And then you take a running quarterback that can throw it. And I mean, he played in our game. I don't know what, I mean, he played his tail end off. I mean, every time he threw the ball, I mean, he completed it. And it's just, there's a lot of different things they do. And it's hard to prepare for them. And they're well coached, and Coach did the same thing at where he's at before. And I used to watch him. So I mean, I've always been impressed with what they do.
All right, I want to give the room one more chance to, if you have a question, this will be last call for questions. Otherwise, we'll let Coach get on with his day. Does anyone have additional questions? All right. Well, I want to thank you, Coach, again for your time today, and also wish you and your team the best of luck on Friday night. And to all that took the time to join us today, I want to thank you as well for your time and interest in the 2023 Conference USA Championship game. Look forward to hopefully seeing some of you later this week in Lynchburg. Thank you all very much for your time.
Appreciate it.